You are welcome. In this class, we'll be solving this simultaneous equation using matrix method. Okay? So, I have videos on another method, such as determinants or Cramer's rule, and many other methods on my channel. So, you can do it to watch. So, in this class, we'll be using matrix method of solving simultaneous equations. So, first thing, we have written our solution. So, let's write. So, write out all the coefficients of x1, write them out. All the coefficients of x2, write them out. All the coefficients of x3, write them out. So we have 1, 2, 3. For coefficients here, 1, 2, 3. Coefficient here is 1. You know, 1 is same thing as plus 1. So we have 1. Here is minus 3. Here is minus 2. And for this part, we have 1. 1 is same thing as plus 1. We have 4. We have minus 2. So I will then put my, we have x, x1, x2, x3. So I will then put it here as x1, x2, x3. Why do I put x1, x2, x3 here? Because if I to use this one to multiply this, if I'm to use this to multiply this, I will still arrive at this. Okay, so this will be equal to 4, 33. I'm writing what is here. 2. As I've said, if I use this to multiply this, I will still arrive at this. Why? If I say 1, I will use this one to multiply this. I will use this one to multiply this. I will use this one to multiply this. Then come here, use this one to multiply this. Use this one to multiply this. Use this one to multiply this. So I will still arrive at this. If I use this 1 to multiply x1, I will have x1. Using this one to multiply x2, I will have x2 here plus x2. Use this one to multiply x3, I will have plus x3. If I use this 2 to multiply this x1, I will have 2x1. You can see. If I use this minus 3 to multiply x2, I will have minus 3x2. If I use this 4 to multiply x3, I will have plus 4x3. They will still arrive, and that will be equal to what? When I was doing for this, it will be equal to this. When I did for this, okay, when I did for this, it will be equal to this. When I do for this, it will be equal to this. And if you do for this one too, to multiply this thing, you still arrive at this, and which is also equal to this. That's for that. So I will say that let this be our A, this be everything here be A, and let this be what? B, and this to be what? C. Okay, so let this be A, B, and C. If I multiply A, that is everything here, with this, I will get what is in C, right? As I've said, when I use this one to multiply all these things, I arrive at this, which is equals to C, which is equals to 4, and that 4 is in C, right? So since we already know that when we multiply A with B, we give us C, so I will say A times B is equals to C. Now, we are looking for the value of x1, x2, x3. But our x1, x2, x3, they fall under which category? They fall under the category of B. Take note. So they fall under the category of B, then I will make B subject to the formula here. So if I'm to make B subject to the formula, I will have B equals to, first of all, let me multiply A times B will be AB, right? That will be AB equals to C. So if I make B subject to the formula, we have B equals to C over A. Okay, and you know that this is also the same thing as 1 over A times what? Times C. Is it not the same thing? Because 1 times C is the same as C over A. In indices, you know that your 1 over A is the same thing as A inverse, A raised to power minus 1. So this will change to A raised to power minus 1. Then don't forget to multiply with C times what? Times C. Okay, so which is also the same thing as A inverse C. You can see it now. Now, that is our B now is equals to this. That is B equals to A inverse C. So this A inverse now is something as, that is the matrix of the inverse of matrix A. A inverse is something as inverse of what? Matrix A. So now to get B, we need to know the inverse of matrix A and C. C is very simple. It's all these numbers. They are simple, straightforward. You don't need to bother much about this. But where our concern is this A inverse. That is the inverse of this matrix A. So what is the formula for this? This one has its own formula. So we need to get this before we can multiply with C. Then we get our B. So what's the formula of A inverse? That is inverse of matrix A. So inverse of matrix A is equals to 1 over, since we are dealing with A, it will be 1 over the determinant of A times the adjoint. Adjoint of what? Adjoint of A. So this formula is for this A inverse alone. Then after getting the A inverse, which is this, we then multiply with C. We got our final answer. Simple. So let's pick it one after the other. So to get this A inverse, we need to know the determinant and we need to know the adjoint. So first of all, let's calculate the determinant of A, which is this. Let's calculate the determinant of A. That is, this is A. We need to calculate the determinant of A. So to calculate the determinant of A, we have, now let's rewrite this out. Let's rewrite it out. We have 1, 1, 1, 2, minus 3, 4. 3, minus 2, minus 2. Okay? And I hope we are following. Okay? So, to get the determinant of A now will be determinant of A equal to, now, if I'm to do it like this, they all meet at where? They meet at the joint at 1 here. You see the 2 pen joint at this one. So I will put 1 here like this. So when I put 1 here, I'm left with what? At least if I cover this and I cover this, I will be left with these 4 numbers here. So I'll be left with minus 3, minus 2, 4, minus 2. Okay, so the first one will be positive, negative, positive. Take note of that. So I will put negative. So now I cover this for the first time. So this one will now change to this. It will move here. So at this point now, when it move here, that is, I will cover all this and I will cover this. I'll be left with, since you have covered all this, don't count this amount. You are left with 2, 4, 3, minus 2. So I'll be left with, but mind you that this one will be here because they meet at this one. So I'll be left with 2, 4, 3, minus 2. Take note of that. So if I shift it from this middle to this now, they still meet at 1 here. So I will still, and it's positive. So I have plus 1 open bracket. But what if, let's assume here is minus 1? Don't forget, if here is minus 1, it will affect the sign. You know, when you put plus here and here is minus 1, you know, since because here is plus, that was why I just put 1 here. If it is minus 1, it will be plus minus 1. And plus times minus 1 will change to minus. So it will also change to minus. Take note of that. All these signs, they are very important in mathematics. So I'll put 1, and you know, if I cover this and I cover this, I'll be left with, I cover all this, everything here, and I've covered this. I'll be left with this and this, this and this. So I'll be left with 2 minus 3, 3 minus 2. Close the brackets. Okay, so determinant of matrix A equal to 1 into brackets. All right. So I will have minus 3 times, I'll multiply this and this together, subtract it, this times this minus this times this times this minus this times this times this minus this times this. Okay, so minus 3 times minus 2 will be it will be minus, you know, minus times minus will change to plus. So 3 times 3 will 3 times 2 will be 6. So this will be 6 minus, don't forget to put minus before the other one, minus 2 times 4, that will be minus 8. Minus 1 into bracket. 2 times minus 2 is equals to minus 4. Okay, minus, don't forget to put minus 3 times 4, that will be 12. Okay, plus 1 into bracket. 2 times minus 2 will be minus 4 minus 3 times minus 3, that will be minus 9. Okay, and I hope you guys are following. Okay, so we have 1 into bracket. Minus times minus will be plus. Change to plus. So this will be 14. This 6 plus 8 will be 14. Minus 1 into brackets. Minus 4 minus 12. That will be minus 16 plus 1 into brackets. Now this will change to plus. Minus times minus will change to plus. Okay. So minus 4 plus 9. Minus 4 plus 9. So that will be plus 5. And that is the same thing as 5. Okay. So the determinant of matrix A equals to 1 times 14 will be 14. Minus 1 times minus 16. This minus belong to this one. Multiplying with this minus 16. Minus times minus will be plus. 1 times 16 will be 16. Plus 1 times 5. That will be 5. So if we add all this together, therefore the determinant of matrix A is equals to 14 plus 16. That is 30. Plus 5. That is what? 35. Okay. So this will be 35. Now we have gotten the determinant of matrix A to be 35, which is this. So we need to get the adjoint of matrix A. Well, I've prepared a separate video on how to calculate adjoint of a matrix, but I will also explain it in this video. Okay? All right. So we have gotten this. So we need to get the adjoint. So this is what is matrix A? This is the matrix A. Matrix A. So we need to write out the matrix A to get the adjoint. Now to get the adjoint of matrix A, so let's write out this equation. I have 1, 2, 3, 1, minus 3, minus 2, 1, 4, 2. Please pay attention to this. The way we calculate the adjoint of 2 by 2 matrix, the way we find the adjoint of 2 by 2 matrix is different from the way we find the adjoint of 3 by 3 matrix. Take note of that. Okay. If you check down my video on adjoint of 3 by 3 matrix, I explained, even inside in the same video, I explained how to find the adjoint of 2 by 2 matrix, which is very, very simple. 2 by 2 is very, very simple. But 3 by 3 is different. All right. Now, how are we going to do it? How many rows do we have? We have row 1, row 2, row 3. So I will only add the first row and the second row. I will put it under it. I will join it again. I know they are already here. So I will add the first row. I'll put it here. And also the second row. I'll put it here. I will stop. Okay. So let's do that first. The first row is 1, 1, 1. Put it under it. The second row is what? 2 minus 3, 4. Now I've done that. So the first one I did with row. You must also do with what? Column at the same time. Come to the column. So I will put the first 2 column. This we did with the first 2 at initial in terms of row. In terms of column 2, you also did with the first 2 column. Now I should have said the first 2 column is this and this. Why? You may say this and this, but it's not correct, because since this has already joined, this has already joined, this has already joined, so you must include them. First 2 column, we have column 1, column 2, column 3. So you need to put the first 2 column, put it here too. So the first column I have is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. If you have any question, you can put it in the comments, please. And the second column is 1 minus 3 minus 2, 1 minus 3. Okay, this is very simple. So cover the first one here. This is the only one you just covered. You need to cover only this. So when you cover this, so let me put it into circle. Let me try to circle them out so that you will not get confused. You'll be left with all this number, but let me circle out this so that you will not be confused. So we have this. So I've circled out those ones, and that was what I did by saying this. Now I'll be left with all this. Now I will need to get a value here, a value here, a value. You know, it's 3 by 3 matrix. Another one here, 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 another one here. So to get the one that will be here, it will be this times this minus this times this. It will be this times this minus this times this. So minus 3 times minus 2, that will be plus 6, which is the same thing as 6. Of course, you know that. Plus minus times minus will be plus, and 3 times 3 will be 6. Minus, put the minus 2 times 4, it will be minus 8. This for this. Now to get for this, you know, the only two I consider is this and this I consider. So to get this now, you know, I stop here, right? Because I'm coming down like this. So I stop here. So where I stopped, I will then join it with this other one again. So which will be 2 times this, 2 times 1 minus 1 times minus 2. So I will do it here. And that will be minus 2 times 1. That will be minus 2. Don't forget to put minus. 1 times minus 2. That will be what? Minus 2. I know a question, you may have this kind of questions bothering your mind that, oh, since I'm coming down, why is it that I can't put this one here? No, that is just the rule. As I'm coming down, the first one is this, the second one will be here. So the third one now, that I will combine the, I will then the third one I will then match this where I stop with this. I will then put it here, not here. Take note of that. So it is from here I will get the one that is here, and from here I will also get the one that will be here. So let's continue. So I stop here, right? So to get the next one here, it will be, now I will then join where I stop here with this. So which will be 1 times 4, which will be 4 minus 3 times minus 3 times 1, that will be minus 3. So to get this row now, so to get the second row now, it will be, now I've this with this and this. That was where I stopped. So I'll then match this one now with this using the same approach. So I'm no longer doing this and this, but I'm now matching this and this now. So which will be 4 times 3 minus 2 times minus 2 now. So I've already included this one, join. This is where I stop, this and this. So this is where I stop. I'm now merging it with this again. So the third one now, I will, you know, I will stop here. I will then merge it with this. That's how it is. Simple. So that will be 4 times 3, which is what? 12 minus 2 times 2, that will be minus 4. Okay. So to get the next one now, you know, when I'm dealing with this one now, so I've done with this. This is where I stop. So this where I stop, I will then merge it with this, which will be 2 times 1. That is minus 2 times 1, which will be minus 2 minus 1 times 3, which will be 3. So this is where I stopped. I will then merge it with this again. So it will be 1 times 2, which will be what? Which will be 2 minus 4 times 1, which will be 4. Then, you know, I stop at this row. So I'll then match this where I stop with this other one to get the third one here. So this will be 2 times minus 2. 2 times. You can watch this video multiple times till you get it right, okay? At times you may watch a video and you may not understand, but you watch it for the second time, this particular one, you don't understand. Very explanatory. I try to break it down in a simple way you get it right. So this will be 2 times minus 2 minus 3 times minus 3. So 2 times minus 2 will be minus 4 minus 3 times minus 3. That will be minus 9. Okay. So to get the next one, this is where I stopped. I will then merge it with this. So it should be this times this minus this times this. Okay. So 3 times 1, that will be 3. Okay. Minus 1 times minus 2, that will be minus 2. Okay. So to get the third one, this will be 1 times minus 3, which will be minus 3 minus 2 times 1, that will be 2. All right, so 6, this will change to plus. Minus times minus will be plus. This will change to plus. This will change to plus. Minus times minus will be plus. This will change to plus. Minus times minus will be plus. This will change to plus. Minus times minus will be plus. This will change to plus. Minus times minus will be plus. So 6 plus 8, that will be 14. And 12 plus 4, that will be 16. Plus 4, minus 4 plus 9, that will be plus 5, which is 5. Minus 2 plus 2 will be 0. Minus 2 minus 3, that will be minus 5. 3 plus 2, 5. This will be 7. 2 minus 2, 2 minus 4 will be minus 2. Why this minus this will be minus 5. Okay, so that is how to get the adjoint of 3 by 3 matrix. Please, this is how to get the adjoint of 3 by 3 what matrix. Now, we have gotten the determinant, which is this. And we have gotten the adjoint, which is this. Let's try to do the necessary calculation here to get our A inverse. Then after getting our A inverse, we multiply it what with C to get what X, Y, and Z. And to get what? To get X1, X2, X3. Okay? So therefore our A inverse equals to 1 over, what is the determinant of A, which is 35. So what is adjoint of A? This adjoint of A, we have 14, 16, 5, 0. If you have any question, please drop it in the comments. 5, 7, minus 2, minus 5. So what this simply means is that I will multiply all this number here with this, with 1 over 35. That's just it. So I'll multiply all the numbers here with what? With 1 over 35. Okay? So if I'm to do that, our A inverse, so our A inverse will be equals to, so if I say 1 over 35 times 14, which will be 1 times 14 over 35, that will be 14 over 35. If you use this one to multiply 0, it will still give me 0. 1 over 35 times 7, and that will be 7 over 35. So for the second one, I will also use this one to multiply this. So 1 over 35 times 16, that will be 16 over 35. Minus 5, multiply this will be minus 5 over 35. This will be minus 2 over 35. So for the third one, it will be 5 times 1 over 35, which will be 5 over 35. This is not minus, it's 5. 5 over 35. So this will also be, so this will also be 5 over 35. And minus 5 over 35. Okay. Now we have gotten our A inverse now. This is now our A inverse. I know that we can still divide, but we are not doing that for now. So we have gotten our A inverse, which is equals to this now, because we have multiplied this, we have done this and this. So we have gotten our A inverse, which is this. So since I've gotten our A inverse to be this now, so I will then multiply with C to get what? B. Therefore, B equals to our A inverse, which is this, which is 14 over 35, 16 over 35, 5 over 35, 0, minus 5 over 35, 5 over 35, 7 over 35, minus 2 over 35 minus 5 over 35. I'll then multiply it with what? This is my A inverse multiplied by C. So if I'm to multiply it with C, that will be, what is my C? This is our C. We have 4, 33 and 2. 33 and 2. So to do that, I will just use this one to multiply this. Use this one to multiply this. Use this one to multiply this. So come here again. Use this one to multiply this. 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 So how are we going to do it? We have 14 over 35. Use this one to multiply this. That will be times 4. 0 times 33. 7 over 35 times 2. Okay, so I'll come here 16 over 35 times 4. This one to multiply this. Minus 5 over 35 times 33. And we have minus 2 over 35 times 2. So for the third one, we have 5 over 35 times 4. I'll use this one to multiply this, use this one to multiply this, use this one to multiply this. So times 4. You see that we use 4 to multiply everything here. 33 here, y2 will be here. So this will be 5 over 35 times 33. And we have minus 15, minus 5 over 35. Minus 5 over 35 times 2. Okay? So mind you, you will add everything here, add everything here, add everything here. Everything here will be our x1, x2, x3. So to get the value. So we do that. So this times this will be 56. That is 14 times 4. That is 56 over 35 plus, add it to this, 0 plus 7 times 2 is 14 over 35. So come here, 16 times 4. That will be 64. That will be 64. So it will be 64 over 35. I can't put plus here, it will be minus because of this minus. So it will be minus. So minus 5 times 30, that is 5 times 33 because of this minus. So 5 times 33 will be 165 over 35. I can put plus here again because if I put plus here, minus will still multiply plus, it will still give me minus. So let me put minus. That will be 4 over 35. So this will be 20 over 35 plus this times this will be 165 over 35. If I put plus here, this will still cancel it to change to minus because plus times minus will be minus. Minus 5 times 2 will be 10 over 35. Okay, so if you add all these one together, if you add them together, it will give you that first one, everything. If you add them together, it will give you 70 over 35. If you do all these ones together, you know they are common. They are common. Everything are common. So when you just pick 35, it will be 64 minus 165 minus this. So everything here will give you minus 105 over what? Over 35. So, and this one too, for everything here is 25. So since they are common, you pick one. So this will be 20 plus this minus 20 plus 165 minus 10. Everything there, we also give you 175. 175 over 35. Okay. So this will give us 7 over 70 over 35 is 2. This will be this over this will be minus 3, and this over this will be 5. So therefore our x is equals to this. Therefore our x1 is equals to this, our x2 is equals to this, and our x3 is equals to this. This x1 equals to 2, x2 equals to minus 3, and x3 equals to 5. That's our final answer. So you can also watch my videos on other method of solving simultaneous equations, especially all these 3 by 3 simultaneous or 4 by 4. Like I have videos on Gaussian elimination method. You can watch my video on that. You can watch my video on watch my video on Gauss-Jordan reduction method. You can watch my video on triangular decomposition method. You can watch my video on Gauss-Jacobi's method. Also many other. Please consider to like the video, comment, and share. Subscribe. So anytime we upload new video, you can always get notified. Thank you.